If you have the opportunity to go and serve your country, you gotta take it with both hands.
Welcome back, Fire Team 2, Shift Fire, the exploration and appreciation of military culture. You are tuned in to a very special episode of Interrogating with Cam in Israel. We are joined by our special guest, Omer Dukovny. We've been learning a few Krav Maga moves with him, but today we're going to ask him a few questions about his military service in the IDF, or Israeli Defense Force. In the United States Army, it's an all-volunteer service, but for Israeli Defense Forces, it's mandatory. Everybody has to serve. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
Everybody knows that they're going to the military at the age of 18 once you're finishing school. It's a big system, and that system is basically going to take you and put it wherever they need you. Basically, starting your enlistment when you're 16, that's where you're doing your first tests. The physical is probably the most important part because that's what gives you the score to see if you can go to a frontline unit or which frontline unit, because some units you don't need the highest scores. For example, the armed forces, they'll take guys that don't have the perfect score. I think perfect score is 97, while some units demands higher. And then once you finish your school, you basically give your orders, and that's going to be your first day that you're going to get drafted. I finished my service back in 97. In my day, the way it was, when it was the day for you to go in and enlist, you met at a certain point. We were in Bet Chayal, which means the house of the soldier. Your parents drop you there, you jump on the bus, and then from there, they're taking you to like your general base. You're green, you have no idea what's going on.
It's like dropping your kids off at summer camp.
In the IDF, there is two main servicing levels, if you like. You have the guys who are going to be frontline combatives, warriors, and then you have the guys who in the support and service, drivers, cooks, any administration level, gunsmith, ammunition technicians. It's just going to be a support job. It's what we call jobnik. So jobnik comes from the word job. It's your job because some bases will even allow those guys to go home every day and come back.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like a job.
So
right?
the POGs, American military, we call POGs, is people other than grunt or persons other than grunt. So it's anybody that's not infantry.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
For some of those guys, they have, if you like it, they have a selection that starts from the age of 16 before they're dropped because they're designated to, let's say, get into a unit like that, all the way to about a year and a half into their service when they're 19 and a half. That's where their selection process stops, especially in the very high level tier units.
Is it a sense of patriotism that they know they're going into the military, or is there any way around it? Is there other options they can take?
In my day, if you didn't went to the military, you can go and volunteer for the police. After that, if they want to stay in the police, they can become like policemen, women, whatnot. There's also a level of community service.
So, Omer, what did you do in the military?
I wanted to go and be frontline. However, in the IDF, if you're an only child, both of your parents have to sign you off to go to a frontline unit. My dad said he will sign me off after some deliberation, and my mom wouldn't hear anything of it. She's just, no, I'm not signing you off. You're not going to be frontline. I want you home every day. I drafted to what we call the general service basic training, which is really, really basic. And then from there, they ship you to whatever specialist skill that you're going to do. So they send me to AT school, AT ammunition technician for the infantry. So you will have the same job for the Air Force and you will have the same job for the Navy. We did a course. The course is 3 months. It's for what we call the Chel Chimush, which is the corps that is in charge on everybody who's mechanics to any capacity of vehicle. Me and a couple of my buddies, we had the highest score in the course, and of course the school wanted us to stay there for instructors. And then one day those two guys came in. They were wearing red shoes. Red shoes in Israel, it's paratroopers, and green beret, which is intelligence. And their guys say, we're here to interview guys to a unit. I ended up getting drafted to the unit. I had no idea what the unit was until I got to the unit. I didn't end up being a front line, but I ended up being in Sayeret Matkaz, or the unit Hayechida in Hebrew, probably the most specialized unit, especially back then in the IDF. Some say that it's equivalent to the Delta Force. So I ended up working with top guys. Because that we have a very short 3 years service, which is the compulsory service, you're ranking up pretty quick, and everybody knows pretty much when they're getting the next rank. So you know you have your minimum period of service, and if you're good, if you have no problems and everything is good, you know you're gonna get your rank. Everybody back in my time used to finish the service with Staff Sergeant. That's pretty common in the IDF. So you're gonna be about 2 years and I want to say 6-7 months.
The American military, because it's volunteer basis, you're either waiting for the lifers to move up or people to get out. And in regiment, it was extremely competitive because we're not getting a lot of guys all the time because a lot of RASP and in special forces, you have a big attrition rate. So waiting to get the next rank, you're waiting for the dude to like either push up and wait for the guy ahead of him to push out, but that's not guaranteed because they will stay in for life. So that's crazy, man. That blows my mind.
One of the things that I find a problem is that once I finish my compulsory, you then going into the pool of your reserves. And you do reserves until you're 45 years old.
Oh my God.
Between a month to 2 months a year.
Wow.
Every year.
You're never really done serving.
Until you're 45. So when I was drafted, my dad finishes reserves like, see you later.
Yeah.
You're it,
Wow,
right?
Yeah.
You're it now.
Did you ever work with any foreign militaries?
My unit used to train with some of your top tier units. I wasn't there. I remember our guys coming back with one of the drills with one of your top units. It's like, oh man, we felt like farmers. Like those guys came in with their what do you call your C-130?
Yeah.
C-130
yeah.
and their Humvees, they had all the bigs with ATVs and all those weapons and oh my God. And now you need to understand that this unit have the deepest, biggest, hands down budget in all infantry in the IDF. Like what they want, they get when they want it.
Yeah.
And our guys were in a position, they were just like gogging. The average fighter in Sayed Matkal is probably 20 years old.
Wow, that's crazy.
And they're going in the training now with guys, the average age is 30.
Yeah.
They've been and done so much more. And they're looking, it's like, wow, those guys really, really good at what
That's
they do.
how I felt when I got to work with Delta. I got to go with them for 3 weeks and train. Obviously, Rangers, we thought we were really good because we're special operations as well, but when we worked with CAG, we felt like preschoolers because we thought we were good at the job, but then we saw them do it and it was just like everybody was jaw on the floor because those were true professionals. What were some things you loved about the IDF and what were some things that, didn't like about it?
What I like about the military in general is it teaches you a lot about life, about the big world, how to get along with people, having more responsibility. I didn't like being tired, I didn't like being cold. On the high mountains, we get sometimes snow, and we have one mountain up in the northern Israel, Mount Hermon, that always snows there in the winter. There's even a little ski field over there. This is the highest point in Israel,
Did you keep in touch with anybody from like your old unit or anything like that?
Facebook does the job pretty well. Everybody's kind of like completely off. It probably don't represent the camaraderie that guys that been and served within a unit. They have a tighter camaraderie and friendship with their friends just because that they keep meeting them on a regular basis every time they're going to their reserves.
Yeah.
And of course, because of the whole experience and everything they go through together, their bond is by far stronger than the guys that I served in. We served in the same area and we help each other up, but it wasn't to that capacity.
What advice would you have for a younger person who either maybe they're here in the States and they're thinking about joining the military?
If you have the opportunity to go and serve your country, you gotta take it with both hands.
Every military has their own weapon system, so what did you use in your service and then do you have a favorite?
In basic training, we had the M16A1 back from when we got all the surplus from Vietnam. So we had the triangle.
Oh, it's still the triangle,
Yes, sir.
handguard? Oh man.
And it was so worn out. The magazine that we got were probably the same magazines that have been used in Vietnam. The IDF wouldn't change them.
Oh wow.
Now I know you guys are using the magazine once and throw it away, right?
No, I bought my own bags, man. This is
We recycled it.
yeah.
So they were so bad that you had them in your pouch and you ran and the bullets would just pop out of
Oh
the
my
magazine.
God, 'cause there's no.
Or they would pop into your pouch, right? So you
Yeah.
pull your magazine out and then the sergeant check up to see if where's all your bullets? Oh, they're in your pouch. But stick them back in there. Then when I got to the unit, non-combat soldiers, we got the short Galil.
Nice.
I love the short Galil. It was just so comfortable to carry. It was a bit on the heavy side, but I just love the folding stock. Then we got upgraded to the Colt A2.
Colt A2.
The M16.
Oh,
A2
okay,
with
cool.
the collapsible stock. It was just much lighter, less recoil. It felt more accurate.
Folks, thanks for joining us on this episode of Interrogating with Cam in Israel. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, like this video, leave a comment in the comment section, let us know what you thought about today's video, and we'll catch you on the next one. We've been learning a little bit of Krav Maga from him, but today we're going to ask him a few questions about his service. Cameron, sorry, real quick, you got in between your two front teeth on your gums.